Some people wonder why they're making the straight A while others are struggling to make the grade, even if they're smart. And then, do you know anyone that did not finish school, but yet is very successful in their career or their business? Hi, I'm Sylvia Herrera. I'm with UHV, and I'm taking a course in speech, professional speech. People learn in different ways. There's experts say there's at least 7 learning styles, but we're going to talk about 3 main ones, and then the other 4 I will explain briefly. Your auditory learning style would be the listening learner, and your visual would be your seeing learner, and then there's the kinesthetic touch learner, which is the experience learner. That's the hands-on approach. My dad was a self-made businessman. He went as far as 3rd grade. He told me this really crazy story about how we got to 3rd grade only, and he said that his teacher told him that he was so intelligent that he didn't have to go anymore to school, so he quit school. I didn't believe him, of course. I was a little kid, and I was wondering if I could just go to 3rd grade and quit. Anyway, he didn't never read a book. I never saw him read a book. I don't remember ever seeing him read a book. He never read anything. But yet, he had 2 businesses. He had the hay hauling and the hay baling. And also he had his passion, which was the horses. He was a horse trainer. And that was also my passion. I used to break, train, and race the horses for him. And we had other jockeys, of course, and we had several horses we trained to race. They were thoroughbreds, big horses. How I learned to ride was to get on and fall off, get back on, fall off, get back on. That's how I learned. That was my learning style. It was a experience learning. My dad is now 83 years old. He has Alzheimer's, and he's in a nursing home. It's a long cry from where he used to be when he was young. But his learning was through experience and believing a lot in himself. He was one intelligent person. He had money. He knew how to make money and be very successful at everything he did. Not bad for somebody who just went to 3rd grade. Okay, now we're going to see the learning styles. The first one would be auditory. This person records lectures and then listens to them. And then he repeats the material, but he speaks it out loud with his own words or her words. He notices different aspects of speaking, and he reads textbooks out loud. He listens to wordless background music. I listen to music too, or I have to have noise when I study. And his information remains with him through hearing it and speaking only. Now your visual is your seeing learner. This learner uses visual objects, such as graphs, charts, pictures, any seeing information. This visual learner will learn it better that way. He can read body language, and he's got great perception for aesthetics. He's able to memorize and recall any information to various information. Tends to remember things that are written down better. He learns better in lectures by watching them, not by hearing them. The kinesthetic, this is the touch experience learner, much like I had learned how to ride horses. This guy likes a hands-on approach. He will learn his new material this way by touching it and doing it. He would rather show you how to do something than to explain it verbally. And this person usually prefers work-study groups more than others. Most people combine the styles, the touch, visual, or the seeing. They use the combination of the 3 or more. And the problem, let's take if you want to paint a room. The listening learner will go call a painter, a friend, or go to a paint store, get instructions for someone before they even start their project. They might even attend a course on painting in the paint store. The seeing learner might look online for answers, read several websites, go to a bookstore, read all kinds of books, magazines, anything to do with home improvement or painting. And he will even go to the paint store, and I do this, go to the paint store and read the back of cans. Because you want to know how much paint you can use, how much to figure for amount of paint to use for a room. I learned my lesson too, not to buy just 1 gallon of paint. You think it's going to do it? No, it doesn't work that way. Now, the experienced learner will go buy a can of paint and a brush, and then go home and start painting. Now, I'm a painter. I paint walls, I paint furniture, I do a lot of stuff that has to do with painting. I'm a craft person. I love to create. Well, the experienced learner it's all wrong, because he will eventually realize that he's going to run out of paint, and he's going to realize that a paintbrush does not help him any when it comes to painting walls. I mean, you need a paintbrush to cut, but not to paint a wall. It's impossible. And so in the middle of the thing, he's going to run out of paint, and he's going to figure out that paintbrush is not going to work. He'll go make probably many trips to the paint store, but he eventually, or she will eventually figure out that he needs to do some more research into his paint and his supplies. Now, there are other types of learning styles. You have the verbal, linguistic, and also the logical, mathematical intelligence. These are intelligence. This is often associated with doing well in school. It involves the ability to use words effectively in math and reading, writing, listening, and speaking. These abilities are strong in the poetry, and is described as an epitome of verbal linguistic intelligence. The next one would be your logical math. This is all the other learning styles. There would be the logical mathematical. This is the way I understand complex problems. He's going to ask questions, he will find solutions, he will reflects on the problem-solving process. Then your intrapersonal, I scored 100 on this one. It's all about the personal satisfaction. When I paint something or do something that's creative, I like to stand back and look at it. It's not enough that I painted it. No, that's not going to happen. I have to look at it, every piece of it, and be personally satisfied with it. Because that project that I just finished is an extension of who I am. When someone looks at it, I want them to look like it as much as I like it. It has to be pretty well close to perfect, because that's the way I am. I'm sorry. Then there's your naturalistic. I scored 100 on that one too. That's all about nature. Love it. I like to sit outside and watch the birds. I have a garden. I have flowers, and I colored, painted all my flower pots till they stand out. Each plant will stand out in its own. I love nature. I cannot. My neighbor's tree is falling to the side, and she goes into all the trouble of straightening it out. And she's like me. She says, I hate to see my tree die. And I said, I know, what a waste. And, I would have been sad to see that tree go. Most people don't think about it, but I do. That's one part of my thought. Nature, that's our mother. Nature is our mother, and we have to appreciate her. Now, these are your multiple learning intelligence. I did of course, your spatial, what over there, that's received. If you don't understand what that means, that's received. Interpersonal is the socializing of each other. You may learn through group work better. All of these styles can be combined. I forgot to tell you about the one about touching the stove. When your mother tells you don't touch the stove. The seeing one, the one that, the listening one will believe the mother and not touch the stove. But the listening one will not touch the stove. If the mother tells you don't touch it, she listens to her mother, or he listens. Now, the seeing learner will watch the brother touch the stove and not do it again. He was like, uh-oh, that's a big no-no. But the experienced learner will touch the stove. But you know what? That'll be the only time he touches the stove. He won't do it again. So how do you learn? How do you think you learn? From this learning style, listening to, how do you learn? Everyone is unique in their own way. Everybody learns their own way. Which is more than one style in all of us. It's not just one, it's several. If you'll go to the to Google and just Google in learning styles, there's several tests that you can take. There's plenty of websites for it, and each one just practically has a questionnaire. And some of them have 20 questions in each one, and you answer them and then submit it, and they'll give you back scores of these learning styles. There's you said it right there. I scored high on my kinesthetic, my reading write, and my auditory, my visual, all of them, but mostly my visual and kinesthetic. I scored high on those, and of course my naturalistic. But it's a really interesting thing to help you realize what style you are, what styles you are, because I know we all use different styles. We don't use one, but it's really interesting to find out. I never thought about it that way, why I do what I do, how I learn what I learn. But it's really interesting to find out. Thank you.